Welcome to 9 People, 9 Parishes. I'm Peter Frith. Oh, sorry, that's so crazy. Hang on. I'm Peter Frith, and I welcome you to the World Heritage Site, town of St. George and the related fortifications. We are here in the parish of St. George's, my home. Well, I think the one word that describes St. George's best is pride. We St. Georgians are very, very proud of our East End. The early settlers came ashore. The island of Bermuda really began in St. George's, and we've become extremely resilient, and we've been able to withstand many trials and tribulations, and it's formed us coming together as a real strong sense of community, of which we're very proud of. St. George's is really special to me, primarily because of my ancestry. I am a direct descendant of Christopher Carter, who arrived on the Sea Venture in 1609. I grew up here from the age of 8, so I'm one of the few that got the strong ancestry with St. George's. Here we are at the Carter House. One of my relatives built this house in the late 1600s. It's the oldest stone structure surviving in Bermuda. We're very, very proud of it. The museum tells the story of the old St. David's Islanders and how they lived and how they worked. And it's operated by the St. David's Island Historical Society, a very special place. The facts I like the most is the history. We've got the oldest stone structure in the New World with the State House. We've got the oldest Anglican church outside of the British Isles with St. Peter's Church. So here we are in the most historic place in all of Bermuda, the St. Peter's Church graveyard. You wouldn't think that I'd recommend a visit to this historic place, but it really is filled with very, very interesting stories. Many folks of notoriety have indeed been laid to rest here. And the one in particular we're looking at is the grave of Anne Willing Bingham. She indeed went on to be the most beautiful woman selected to be on the Liberty Quarter of the early mint published in the United States, thanks to her family friendship with General George Washington, the first president of the United States. So here we are at the entrance to one of the sad stories of our history, the burial grounds for the enslaved people and the free blacks. Back in the day, even though the blacks had been baptized and had even learned to read the Bible, they were unfortunately not allowed to be buried in the close proximity of the church. They had to create their own graveyard, which we now call the segregated graveyard. Many Bermudians have been able to find their ancestry's final resting place here in this very quiet and serene place. It's a sad part of our history, yet it is part of the factual story that must be told. But then there's all sorts of other things with the pristine beaches of Cooper's Island. We've got the cahows nesting, one of the rarest seabirds in the world, on Nonsuch Island. Other than the famous Cup Match Cricket Classic in St. George's, we're very famous for other sporting events. We host the Triple Challenge. We're one of the start or finishes of the largest charity event with the end-to-end. And then, of course, the New Year's Eve dropping of the onion and all sorts of other events that take place on the waterfront. We're very, very proud of St. George's, and we try to boast and get people to come and visit as often as possible. Here we are on the scenic St. George's Harbor. Absolutely gorgeous. Just over there you can see St. David's Lighthouse, and then you've got Smith's Island where it all began. The very first settlers' camp has been discovered there by the archaeologists. And here's the rest of the island of St. David's, spreading out with the airport runway just over the other side. Absolutely the best views. Every now and then you might catch a sailboat race. It could be the Comets or it could be the Endeavor program with the students learning how to sail. What a beautiful spot to be. So the type of food that you can find in the restaurants of St. George's primarily is seafood. Definitely one of the popular ones is wahoos, where we can guarantee fresh fish every single day. And then of course we have the wharf, which is famous, my favorite, sushi on the island. Nice, fresh, some local, but some imported fish. But also of course the White Horse Tavern, very, very popular for their fish chowder, but also it's a lovely spot to feed the fish. They've got a lovely school of various fish parading up and down outside the White Horse Wharf. To be honest, my favorite fish sandwich in all of Bermuda happens to be made at Munchie's restaurant. Well, here we are at Munchie's by the Sea. I'm here to come and get my usual order, the best fish sandwich in all of Bermuda, certainly in St. George's for sure. The Stevie Hollis, an excellent fresh wahoo with toasted raisin, coleslaw, and tartar sauce and hot sauce, all wrapped up in a delicious package. Well, here I am, back again,
Hello,
Kai.
welcome back, my lovely. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. I'm here for my usual Stevie Hollis fish sandwich.
All right, you doing the large fry as well today?
May I please?
Crispy?
Yes. Yeah, extra crispy
All right,
is good.
got you.
Thanks, darling. So here we have the Stevie Hollis fish sandwich. Stevie is an excellent sailmaker, one of Bermuda's surviving craftsmen. He just lives next door, and he's been coming here so regularly and ordering his favorite fresh wahoo sandwich, so they decided to rename it the Hollis Sandwich. So the town of St. George has a wide variety of age and style of forts. We are indeed part of the World Heritage Site and the related fortifications. So we've got the very, very earliest fort out on Paget Island, plus the Castle Island fort over in Castle Harbor. But we've also got the largest fort other than Dockyard, which is known as Fort St. Catherine. I grew up here in the parish running around these forts, and some of them were indeed off limits, but we kids, we always found a way. And it was so much fun to go down into the dungeons and explore some of the more darker areas. I'm actually standing on the beach where the very first English settlers set foot, which included my ancestor, Christopher Carter, in 1609. The wreck of the Sea Venture is just over there towards the horizon. It really was a magnificent view that those first settlers had. I just love it here because of the serene quietness of it all, these lovely little lanes that we have, and these quiet little nooks and crannies. It's amazing just how much you can see around every corner. There's another piece of history waiting to excite you.
Oh, yay! Welcome to St. George's, Bermuda!